Layla's hands were visibly shaking and her legs wobbled. "Why would we hate you, Layla?" Quinn said. Layla looked at Aaron on the bed one more time. "I know a place where a group of people will be able to keep her safe from all of this." She paused for a moment before saying the last words. "I'm from Pure." "I knew it!" Vorden shouted. "Of course she was hiding something. They probably wanted to use you for some reasons." "That's not true," Layla snapped back. "They don't even know about Quinn. I didn't ask for this. I didn't ask for any of this," Layla said as tears started to run down her face. "Sorry guys, but can someone explain to me what or who Pure is?" Vex said. "I'm glad you asked," Logan said, spinning his chair around to procure a file. Then he opened it while uttering, "I had prepared for this after I saw Layla dropping off the note in the morning." "You knew?" Vorden said, surprised. In an instant, a projection was seen playing a myriad of different videos. It was mostly of people wearing a type of mask that covered their whole face, all with a figure of an angel that looked like it had its wings removed. It was the mark of Pure. The video showed multiple explosion attacks on certain buildings, and different factions were being conducted. "Let me warn all of you, what you are seeing now is pretty biased. The only information I can get about them is filtered through the military. However, nearly everyone knows the basics. Pure has only one goal, to get rid of all abilities. They believe that the world and the system currently in place are wrong. Even the basic human rights don't exist to those with weaker abilities," Logan explained. "I didn't mean to deceive any of you. My situation here is quite complicated," Layla began to reason out, "but the main culprit of the system in place is the military. However, the only reason they can enforce the rules is because of True Dream. True Dream only visited this military base." "And they sent a kid?" Vorden explained. "I volunteered," Layla shouted, yet her eyes slightly twitched when she said those words. "Look, this isn't about me and Pure. This matter is about Aaron." Vorden then dragged Quinn towards the side and whispered in his ear, "You're not considering this, are you? For Aaron and Peter to go over to Pure?" After hearing this, Quinn was struggling. He was pretty sure that Layla meant no harm, yet putting his friends in the hand of strangers and sending Peter would be a huge risk. "Logan, don't you have everything recorded? Can't we just use that as blackmail against True Dream? Spread it on the internet or something?" "Impossible," Logan replied without delay. "You remember the reports I brought up earlier? The military has a monopoly on what can be seen and what cannot." "I think we have no other choice," Quinn said. "The best thing for Aaron will be to go over to Pure." "Okay, so Aaron goes to Pure," Vorden stated. "What about Peter?" Quinn's mind was already muddled as he tried to think of solutions, but at that moment he was out of ideas. "Quinn, we could always—" "Don't say it, Vorden. I believe I have a solution to your problem with Peter," the system said. "What do you mean, you have an idea for Peter?" Quinn asked. "The main issue right now is the fact that your faces cannot appear in the school anymore," the system explained. "He can learn a transformation ability. But I thought you said we had to find a specific ability for vampires that could be learnt, just like I learnt the Shadow Book," Quinn asked. "Perhaps I need to remind you once again. What I said was, there are certain abilities that only vampires can learn, and at the same time, there are abilities that only humans can learn. However, some abilities are in the middle, somewhere in between, and one of them is the transformation ability." The transformation ability wasn't a popular ability with the general public. It gave the user nothing extra that could aid them in combat. One could alter their face and look like another. This meant it was often used for infiltration or spying. Quinn then explained to the others what his plan was with Peter. "So what do you think, Logan?" Quinn asked. "Will you be able to hack into the school system and add his ID?" "The problem isn't whether I can do it or not, Quinn," Logan replied. "The problem is making it all seem natural. It won't work." Once again, the group were deep in thought. "I have an idea," Vorden said. "When we went to the planet Kaladi and the Dalki attacked us, didn't they say they couldn't find 3 of the student bodies?" "That's right," Layla replied. "They assumed they had died somewhere deep in the desert, and their bodies were eaten. Well, once Peter learns the transformation ability, why don't we get him to look like one of those students? We can have him appear back near the portal and say he had gotten lost in the desert and came back now," Vorden asked. "Now that is big brain thinking," Logan said. He then hopped onto his computer and went over to the marketplace in search of a transformation ability book. It didn't take long for Logan to find one, due to how unpopular the skill was. It seemed to be a level 5 skill, which was perfect. "Ability book purchased," It will probably take him a few weeks or so for him to learn it, Logan said. For now, he can stay in my room. Let me try something, Quinn said as he walked over and grabbed the book himself. Level 5 transformation ability book obtained. Would you like to store the book? No. Option to use the ability book on family member Peter. Would you like to use it? Maybe we won't have to wait at all, said Quinn as he accepted the system's suggestion. The book floated in the air and flew over to where Peter was. The pages turned and turned until they hit the very last one. Then the book started to disintegrate in front of everyone's eyes. Peter Chuck has successfully learned the ability Transform. Peter, do you want to try transforming into me? Quinn asked. As a tester, Peter did just that, and slowly his face started to reshape and reform into a second Quinn. It was nearly perfect. The others watching were amazed by this. In the room on Logan's computer, 3 different profiles were displayed. It was displaying information about the 3 missing students from the Dalkey attack. Out of the 3, there were 2 that matched Peter the closest. Peter looked at the screen and carefully started to morph his face. The student had medium-length brown hair, and one of the finer details about him was he would often wear a bandana that cut off one side of his hair while the other remained up. Finally, Peter would no longer go by his name in the school and would now be known as P.O. Blank. While this all was happening, the groans from the back were heard as Erin lifted her body off the bed and touched her head. When she looked up, she could see the faces of everyone staring at her and a person she had never seen before. Who the heck is the new guy? Erin groaned. No one said a word, and after a few moments, she started to remember everything that had happened to her. Her last words with Jack and what he had planned to do with them. No, 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 she started to scream. Calm her down before someone outside hears us, Vorden said. Layla quickly rushed over to her side, but Erin couldn't help but scream in anger and sadness. Do you want us to be caught? Logan said as he threw out a circular device towards Erin. The device opened up midair just before reaching her mouth and wrapped around it like a tight-fit mask. The screams had stopped, but the tears continued to run down her face. While Erin's mouth was covered, it was a lot easier for Layla to explain. Logan then walked up to Erin and had a few words to say himself. Now if you scream, it goes back on. The situation is not favorable for any of us, and please trust me. We went through all the options. I even looked into your background and thought about seeing if we could send you back to your family, but that's not possible. Staying with Pure is the only option we have. Logan took off Erin's wristwatch and made a few adjustments to it before placing it back. We are a bit wary of Pure, so if you need any emergency help, you can contact me through that. Erin nodded calmly. Rather than angry or sad, she seemed to be going through a different stage right now. She was in shock. As soon as the mask was taken off, she started to look at Layla. Will you be coming with me? Erin asked with pain in her voice. Layla looked in her eyes and held both of her hands before shaking her head. She knew the next words would hit her hard. No, I can't. I still have my mission here, Layla replied. What about Peter? Will he be coming along with me as well? The student who Erin didn't recognize stood next to Quinn, stepped forward, and his face started to morph back into his old self. But how? Did he have an Earth ability? Erin asked. How did he learn that? The sound of a little excitement and hope could be felt in her voice. That's because Peter is no longer human, Quinn explained. Hearing these words from Quinn suddenly gave Erin an idea. She had lost her ability, but not all hope was gone. She stood up from the bed and said, Quinn, I want you to make me a vampire. I want you to turn me like how you turned Peter. Erin, even if I wanted to, I can't. It wouldn't change the situation we're in, Quinn explained. What do you mean? She asked, slightly annoyed, taking a step forward. First, I think you're forgetting the main issue here. It isn't that your ability was stolen from you, but it's the fact that the school and Jack are after you. Either way, we need to hide you somewhere, and going to Pure is the best option. Perhaps I should take over the explaining, Logan said as he moved forward. The reason Peter got the transformation ability in the first place was so he could hide in plain sight. We are currently using one of the missing male students from the planet Caldi. If you did change your mind and gave in, ending up with the transformation ability, it would still be impossible to hide you, Erin. There have been no missing female students since the start of the term. Hearing their explanation wasn't calming Erin down at all. Instead, it was making her feel drained and defeated. What's the point of me being protected by Pure? Am I meant to just be some type of princess that can't fight for herself? She complained. Why don't we make a deal? Quinn said. Stay with Pure for now. Once this whole thing blows over or we finish school, come back to me. If you still wish for me to turn you into a vampire, then I will. Please understand, Aaron, none of us can do anything when we are dead." She looked into his eyes for a while, before eventually giving his answer, and finally shook Quinn's hand. "Sometimes you make some sense," she said. Finally, the matter had been settled, and a plan set. "What do we need to do to send Aaron to Pure, then?" Vorden asked. "It's not exactly like we can just walk out the front door of this place." "Logan, do you have an answer?" Quinn asked. "Unfortunately not," Logan replied. "We have Pure members stationed on nearly every planet, except for a few red planets," Layla said. "We won't need to go outside, but just get Aaron to the portal room." "That's no good," Logan said. "It seems like after the incident last time with a couple of students being pushed into one of the portals. They have been stricter about the security there." "How about Fex's mind control?" Aaron said. "Couldn't he tell them to go away or remove their memories?" "If they are adults, it would be much harder than before," Fex replied. "Besides, right now I'm guessing there will be a lot of people covering that area. If I wanted to get out of this place, the portal room would be the first place I would think of. So there's no way we can pull off something as similar as we did against True Dream, not unless we had someone on the inside." The last words Fex had spoken gave Quinn an idea. It was a risky one, but he had a gut feeling that he would be able to help. "Then we have no choice," Quinn said. "We need to ask Leo for help." The words that came out of Quinn's mouth surprised them all. This also included Vorden, who felt like he was the closest to him. "Why would you suggest that?" Vorden said. "Leo is a sergeant, and although he isn't under Duke, he is under Nathan, who is ultimately under Paul, the head general. It's clear that Leo is working for them, or at least he takes direct orders from them," Quinn said. "First of all, I'm pretty sure he knows I'm a vampire. He knew I was different from the beginning, and has safeguarded my secret until this day. Leo himself didn't align with the military. He is on the side of humanity," Aaron added. "I agree he's different from the other teachers. Remember how he saved us from the Dalki attack that one time?" Once again, Logan projected the information about Leo onto the screen. Logan said, "It says Leo readily refused to join the military and only wanted peace after the war. However, he did agree to fight once again if the Dalki were to invade." A bright light emerged from the projector, which used to display the hologram so far. It now displayed a solid wall of green. "Which one of you is the best at acting here?" Logan inquired. The others didn't know who to look at, but eventually they all directed their gaze at Vorden. Vorden immediately bent down as little Logan placed the strange helmet on top of his head. "This here is a facial recognition device. It can track the smallest of details and all the little movements of the muscles in your face. What I plan to do is make a video. If we put both Peter and Aaron up against the green screen and we have our actor Vorden here, I will be able to create a realistic video. The plan is to pretend the video has been sent from Pure, informing the school that the kids they are looking for have already left the planet and are safe in Pure's hands. Once they know Pure safely has the two of you, hopefully they will stop searching around as desperately as they are doing now." A speech was made for Vorden to act out, while Layla was in charge of telling Vorden what to say. The speech even ended with a phrase they had never heard before, "May we purify your souls." She explained that it was a type of signature Pure used when they sent things like this to their enemy. It also made the others realize how Layla was living a double life, and perhaps the Layla they knew wasn't real at all. She had to inform Pure of the plan as well. She was quite nervous about this, as she had broken the rules of Pure and acted on her own. Walking down the hallway, both Quinn and Vorden were making their way to the weapons class. Even on off days like today, Leo would often rest there, or practice his swordsmanship. The two of them now stood just outside the weapons hall, and Vorden hesitated before stepping in. "The two of you were standing outside for a while. I was wondering when you were going to come in," Leo said. Quinn started to explain what had happened, and how they had come to learn what True Dream's reason for coming to the academy was, as well as how Pure was the one who had informed them, and how their friends had been chosen for the process. All they wanted to do was protect Aaron and Peter. Quinn, however, did leave out the detail of them trying to save Peter for a different reason related to himself, and just explained that he didn't want his friends to lose their ability. He also mentioned how they needed to send Aaron out of here right now. "There isn't much I can do with the situation with Jack. Jack holds a special relationship with our head general, Paul. The only thing I can do is wait to meet with the head general of Military Base 1. Not everyone in the military agrees with Jack's doing, and this will hopefully be a step in the right direction," Leo said.
Quinn said. "Right now all we need to do is save our friend. Is there any way you can get us inside the teleport room to send her off somewhere?" Leo started to think, which wasn't a good sign. It seemed like he asked a simple yes or no answer, but that didn't seem to be the case. "As you know, the portal room has been heavily guarded ever since what happened between you two. Most likely it will be guarded even more. Still, there is a way. Follow me." While entering her room, Layla was more nervous than ever. The black orb resting under her bed was now in her hand, and once again she took a deep breath, readying herself before tapping the top of the sphere. "Agent 45 connected with Agent 83. Today isn't a report day. Does there seem to be a problem?" the voice from the sphere asked. "I would like to make a special report. Would you please connect me to Agent number 5? Layla asked. "The single agents are too busy. You can report it to me and I will pass on the message to them." "I'll ask you again," Layla said firmly. "Please let me speak to Agent 5. This is not a request as an agent, but say that it's from her daughter." There seemed to be a slight pause between the two for a moment, before the agent eventually replied. "I will see what she says." Layla waited while the other agent contacted her mother. "This is Agent 5. I hear you have some important news for me, Agent 83, the voice said. Layla started to explain the details of what happened, how she acted on her own without informing Pure to protect her friends, going against Jack, and what the situation currently was. So far, she had only said she told Aaron, someone who she wanted to bring over to Pure, about her real position. "Has your position been compromised by anyone else in the school, or personnel?" her mother asked. "No, I've only informed Aaron. Right now they think she escaped on her own. They're looking for her, and she has no ability, as well as nowhere to go. If you can, please help her." "Don't worry," she replied. "We will do our best. Anyone who has been affected by True Dream will be accepted. We shall treat her well. However, you have gone against our code. Although you were not caught, you took action without asking for permission, and you even went as far as to use our name. Your punishment will be decided when you come back to the base. For now, you shall be demoted from position 83 to position 100. Update me when you have the location Aaron will be sent to. We will have someone on standby waiting. Oh, and one last thing. Layla, I am waiting for you. Soar through the ranks. Don't be disheartened and try to get into the upper level so we can meet more frequently. May Pure be with you." "May Pure be with you." The two boys were closely following Leo as he walked around the school. "Sergeant Leo," Faye said, "there has been an update about the situation of the two students who ran away from their punishment. It appears that somehow Pure has already gotten their hands on both of them," Faye said. As Faye finished her words, she spotted the two boys standing not too far away from Leo. They were the first-year students who she had been seeing more than she would have liked to. Wherever these two went, it seemed like trouble was simply lurking in their shadows. On the other hand, Leo stopped in his tracks, prompting the students to do the same. They had reached an area in the school that they had never been to before. It was located around the back of the teleport area, and to access it, a special code should be entered on a panel that served as the lock. "This area is dedicated to the soldiers' storage room. When we moved here, we were allowed to bring our personal belongings," Leo explained. They walked for a few seconds, eventually stopping right before the door that had the number 12 painted on it. There is a security device that made sure that the only one who had access to this room was him, unlike the other codes utilized on the previous doors. Placing his hand on top of the access panel, it soon allowed Leo inside. Quinn continued his inspection of the weapons. He noticed that most of them were high class and were classified as beast equipment. It turned out that Quinn wasn't the only one who noticed the equipment around them was mostly high gears, as Vorden did too. "Hey, if you're not going to use these things, do you mind if I keep them?" Just then, Leo came out from the back, holding a fairly large circular device. It was almost the same size as his upper body. He placed it in front of the two students, making a loud sound as it hit the floor. "I'm afraid that all of these weapons are cursed," Leo said. "Their users died with too much resentment, and those emotions stayed in their weapons," Leo explained. "Having no sight has allowed me to see more things than I have ever seen before. If only you could see the things I could see, perhaps you would begin to understand a little." "Oh," Vorden replied. "If you're talking about your ability, is there a way you can show me? I can copy and use other people's abilities. All I need to do is touch their hand. Quinn was a little afraid about how Leo would react. If you wish to, then go ahead, Leo said as he held out his hand. At the same time, a strange smile appeared on his face. With that, the pressure Vorden felt before was back.
Hi, Quinn here. Wondering what happens next? If you want to jump the queue and unleash all episodes, click on the link here and install the Pocket FM app.